Hey there YouTube, it's me Tifo Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the first of this month's Korean toy reviews. Yes, today I have got a new character from a new toy line that has recently released in Korea, and I decided to get in on it and to buy one this month. And yeah, it's arrived and I'm going to do a review on it. Now the toy line is called Metal Cardbot, and I believe it's made by Samji, which is the same company that did, I think, Miniforce, and they also did Battle Watch Car as well. But it's a new line of transforming robot figures with like a card-based gimmick that's kind of interesting. The first couple of episodes are available to watch on YouTube, along with a load of clips associated with the new characters as they're introduced. And I decided to get into it. I got the main character from this new toy line, whose name is Blue Cop. And before we look at the toy, let's have a quick look at the box. So here's his box, and obviously, Blue Cop. There's the little kid. I'm not sure what his name is on the side there. The kid who's, he gets like an activator watch, and once he captures the robots, he can then befriends them, and then you can use them to go on adventures. So there he is in his alt mode and his robot mode. He's got stuff on the top, more pictures on the back showing his alt mode and his robot mode, and all the product information on the bottom, usual stuff. Now this box, although it's made out of decent cardstock, it's got like a plastic window in with double clamshell and that foil backing in the back, that shiny silver backing. It's kind of small, and that is the watchword for this toy I want to use to describe it, because I paid nearly 60 quid for this figure, and when I'm buying a Korean toy, I expect to get something that's reasonably big, because obviously I use this guy as my main size comparison, Combiner Wars Leader Class Megatron, because he's a full-blown Leader Class figure. He's full height, not like Leader Classes that you get these days, and I use him as my size comparison for all my Korean toy reviews. And last month I got this guy, did a review on him, the new Tobot X from Tobot 2023 toy line. And if you put him next to, you can see he's just a little bit smaller than Leader Class Megatron, but he's still a decently sized bot. However, this thing, as I showed in my unboxing video, when you put the box next to Combiner Wars Megs, there is a significant size difference. Now, like I said, I paid nearly 60 quid for this figure, and I was expecting a largish figure, and what actually arrived was something that was not what I expected. Anyway, this guy comes with the box, as I've shown. Got the transformational instructions, which show you how to transform him, and shows how his gimmick works, because this guy does have a gimmick. Also, there was these little QTR code cards that something about Emotion Castle, which is some kind of I assume a digital streaming service, and I assume you can watch the series on the Emotion Castle digital streaming service. And then the figure himself. So here he is in his alt mode. So his name is Blue Cop, and as you can see, he's a blue police car, even though his police car mode is like a Italian sports car. It looks a lot like a Lamborghini. So have a good look at this thing. It's a decent looking figure in alt mode, kind of squat, slightly deformed, squished. It's not very prototypical for a real world car, really. It's a little bit short arse, but Not too bad. You look on the front, you see he's got the robotic eyes in the windscreen of the car. This is a feature of this show because they're autonomous vehicles that when they're in alt mode they drive around. But to see where they're going, they have these sort of digital eyes which appear in the windscreen of the vehicle, and there's his eyes in the front. Kind of gives them a kind of like the Cars characters from Disney's Pixar's Cars movies, kind of. Yeah, but now this police car does look kind of good. Like I said, it looks kind of like a Lamborghini, like a slick sort of sports car, but as a police car. Paint apps are really, really good on it. It's got all the white and blue stripes. It's got some gold pinstriping on the bonnet of the hood or down the sides, and on the top here it's got like the police lights on the top. It's got the things on the back. It's got transparent lenses in the back and the front for the lights. It's got very large pinned wheels that roll exceedingly well, and for its size it's got a decent weight because this guy is kind of small. He's not as big as a car should be for this size class, but this is just the car mode. Underneath, obviously, you've got a scrunched up robot. It pegs well together. It's nice and solid. This particular example does have a few minor paint blemishes. I don't know whether you can see, but there's some little paint spots on the rear quarter panel. A few little blue paint spots on there, but apart from that, it's pretty good otherwise. Yeah. So not much more you can say about the alt mode. It does come with an accessory, and it's this thing. Now, I don't know the proper name for this. It's called Metal Cardbot, and this, I believe, is the metal car that they're talking about. So you get this thing, and then you have this transparent plastic thing attached to the back. They do separate, like so. Now, the card, as you can see, it's got like this shiny, metallic logo there. It's got his name there, Blue Cop, and a picture of him, and all this gold paint apps. And in the show, well, you can buy this sort of activator watch with a slot. You slot the card in, and I assume it does lights and sounds specific to the character. There's probably like a small microchip embedded in this card that activates the lights and sounds features. And then you get this thing. Now, this is, I think this is a card armor or card weapon or something like that. So I've been trying to do a translation of the text from the instructions sheet. I took a photograph of it, and then on my phone you can highlight a bit of Korean text. You can highlight the text, and it will give you a it'll translate via Google to say what it is. It's not a hard and fast rule. It doesn't work every time, but the translation I got for this thing was Blue Armor Metal Card Justice Gauntlet. Now, I don't know what they mean by Justice Gauntlet. I think that's a dodgy translation of the word. But anyway, this thing folds into a weapon. So you fold it in half like that. You then tilt that down. There's a bit that flips up at the back, and then you've got these two side pieces that come down, and there we have Blue Cop's weapon, or Justice Gauntlet, or now in the show he can do sort of rocket punches with this thing, or jet punches. It's called I can't remember what the kid shouts out some sort of attack when he uses this, and also when he punches them with his final attack, it also electrocutes them. So it's got the ability to electrocute and fire off sort of jet bursts and stuff like that. But anyway, that's the accessory. Let's put that down for now, and then let's look at the figure. Now, transforming this guy, as he plugs together very well in alt mode, it's a bit tricky to unpick him in order to to transform him. usually you have to start with these doors. Now the doors do plug in very well, so you unplug the doors. There we go. So it's like it's got gull wing doors. Then you can pull the roof section up like that. You can then unfold the legs. There's these two bits here which you need to pull round, and they go all the way around and plug into the shins like that. Then you can straighten out the legs. Got the little feet you pop up. These bits, they have an ability to fold back and click into place, so I assume that that's part of the transformation. You can then separate the legs. Then you have these bits in the back which sort of splay out a little bit. Moving around to the front, pull the arms out, fold that in, fold that back, fold shoulder pieces forwards, straighten up the arms. We're nearly there. And then we're pretty much done. Oh yeah, and then the backpack, there's a peg in the back that plugs into his back, so you move that up and it just plugs into place. And there we go. There is Blue Cop in his robot mode, and he looks kind of cool in robot mode. He looks decent. He's got a nice aesthetic, kind of chunky. There's a lot of kibble going on, especially around the back. If you look here, he's got these wing pieces and he's got these quarter pieces on the legs that hit each other, and you've got the wings hanging out there. You can, if you want, you can fold. You can fold the wings out of the way to give clearance for articulation. But yeah, his robot mode looks good. But again, the size of it. I mean, look at the size of him compared to leader class Megatron. So a full size leader class figure, he's not great. And then even when you put him up against a Towbot, he's way smaller than a Towbot. Now, this is my main gripe with this toy, is the size of it. The price I paid for it, I paid like nearly 60 quid for it. I'd expect a bigger toy, and what I got was this. I should have done my research, should have figured out how much these things are. I mean, yeah, when these toys retail in Korea, these are cheaper to buy than these guys at their sort of regular retail price. These guys I think are about 30 something quid. These guys are about 20 something quid. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, there's like at least a £10 difference between the two. But it's all the international shipping you have to throw onto it. Now, I bought this guy off eBay. And of course, eBay's these days, buying Korean toys off eBay is a mug's game. It's full of scalpers. They all charge over the odds for the toy. Then they whack their shipping fee on top. And yeah, you can still buy stuff with free shipping, but they bundle all the prices into the price. And yeah, and like I said, I bought this off an eBay seller for 57 quid or 58 quid or whatever it was. And I have done a bit of research. I can get them cheaper off Gmarket. I think I can get them for about 45 off Gmarket. So I am tempted to buy more figures in the line. But now that I know about the size, of these things, I'm not willing to pay, full size or sort of full KTRT prices to get these guys. Right, the figure himself, like I said, he's decently made. reasonable weight for his size. Articulation, he has got a ball jointed head that's got a little bit of forwards and back, and it can move from side to side. The shoulders are on ratchets. Now, these shoulder pieces do bash into bits behind, so it does sort of restrict their motion slightly. The elbow, he does have bicep swivels, and then he's got an elbow bend that goes to 90 degrees. Nothing at the waist. The arms also have a little bit of in and out motion on a double jointed hinge, but it's got restricted motion. Also, the shoulder pauldrons, bash into his head. He's got the these little waist pieces that fold up out of the way of the legs. Ratchet hips that can go backwards and forwards. It can go out to the side. No thigh swivel, no waist joint. The knees, it's got a knee joint, and then it's got an extra joint for transformation, so you can get a super deep knee bend. Nothing at the foot, and there we go. This guy he's kind of chunky, as in he's got a lot of bulk attached to his various limbs that sort of get in the way when you're trying to transform him, and the lack of a thigh swivel restricts your dynamic posing options on this guy. I mean, when I was trying to get the picture for the thumbnail, I couldn't really get him in a decent sort of like running pose because I couldn't twist the legs properly. It does have a weapon on the inside of his leg. You can see he's got a gun that plugs in. It will plug into either leg, so it's like a little sort of Magnum style gun, and it will fit into the palm of either hand. Now, it doesn't have any specific clipping point, but it just sort of presses in there and it will hold into place, and it does work on both hands. It's a bit of a tenuous, because you have to. It plugs in and comes off ever so easily. But there we go. So you've got that weapon, and it just plugs into the side of the leg on either side. Now he has the other accessory. He has his metal card gauntlet thing, and on one of his arms he's got 2 pegging ports on his arm, and inside the gauntlet there is, you can probably see there's 2 pegs there that will plug directly into the arm, like so, and then you fold the whatsits round, and that gives him his power-up punch with his Justice Gauntlet, or whatever it's called. Like I said, in the episodes of the show, you can use this to do, sort of burst, to shoot, sort of like rocket bursts. You can also do a final attack where he hits them with a massive punch, and then it electrocutes them. It zaps them with an energy bolts or a lightning bolt. And with this thing on, obviously because of the bulk of it, it's limited to articulation. It's got a little bit of movement there. It has got a bicep swivel, so you can sort of angle it in slightly. The articulation on this thing isn't fantastic. Like I said, the bulk of him works against him for the most part, and of course, going around the back, you've got all these kibble pieces hanging out of the back. You can sort of manage them to some extent. Like I said, you can flip these wing pieces round like so, kind of give him a wing pack on the back. It's a thing. obviously, you know, in the show to do this attack, you know, the kid has to, you know, insert this into the thing, call out an attack, and he'll do it. I'm very disappointed by this, mostly because of the size of it. I mean, I was expecting something a bit bigger. You know, I was expecting something maybe not quite as big as this, but, you know, I was expecting it to be, let's say, that big by comparison. But as it happens, it's that big. You know, it's. I would have liked it to have been a little bit bigger in robot mode. Yes, the figures are kind of, you know, they're kind of bulky. They have a lot of bulk on them, on their limbs. Slightly restricted articulation because he's got no thigh swivels. He's got a bicep swivel, but because of the bulk on the arm, it's of limited use. Decent head articulation, but the rest of it's, you know, just normal joints. Build quality's good on it. Plastic quality's good. The gimmick with these card-based, you know, sort of power-up weapons. The different characters have different weapons. The next figure I'm probably going to go for is Mega Trucker. He's like an orange dump truck. He's got a big sort of spinny sort of barge plate thing, and he's kind of got a design like an American footballer, and he always goes in with you know like tackling attacks, and I quite like the look of him. So I might get him next. Then there's an ambulance who's got like a weird looking futuristic ambulance, but his robot mode looks pretty cool. He's called was it Mega Ambler, and he's got these massive sort of forceps, these massive like scissor things for his his card weapon. And then there's a helicopter, a purple helicopter called Shadow X, and theirs turns into a massive like shuriken. And the latest figure to be revealed is a fire engine by the name of Phoenix Fire, and he has his weapon turns into like a hammer, and they look kind of interesting. I'm not too impressed with. I don't know whether I'll be getting the Shadow X, but I am thinking about getting the rest of the figures in the line. But buying them's going to be getting them at a sensible price, or a price that's more fitting of the size of the figures is going to be a challenge. Mainly because I have to ship them from the other side of the world. He's okay, but like I said, because of his size, I'm very disappointed in that I didn't get more for my money. Basically, I would have liked this to have been a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit more articulated. But that's something I ask of all Korean toys because they ain't the most articulated things in the world. But there he is, Metal Cardbot, Blue Cop. He's an okay figure, just don't pay eBay scalper prices for it. No. you might think you're getting a good deal when you buy one of these off an eBay seller, but when it actually arrives in hand, it's a lot smaller than you expect it to be. Yeah. just be wary of that. So that's been my review of this guy. Obviously, I'm going to be doing 2 Korean toys back to back because I've got my other Korean toy figure, which I will be filming directly after this one. But for now, I've been TFR Wilderness. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.